Just like
hello everyone. Welcome to A Navigators. I'm glad that we have today John Tilley from ZonGuru. We know each other for a while, and it's always a pleasure talking to John. So let's start with your story. So, like, introduce you to our audience so people know you better. How you came to the e-commerce, what it's like, how you end up being a CEO of ZonGuru.
Yeah. Hey, Oleg. Good to be here, and yeah, always good to meet up with you. I'm based in Los Angeles, so it's actually it's evening here, so it's a little bit dark. So apologies for the lighting, but yeah, my journey is essentially, I had many years in advertising, digital advertising. I'm from South Africa originally, which is the accent, and I moved to Los Angeles in 2006, and in about 2013, I found Amazon at a conference in Las Vegas, which really, the penny dropped for me that there was a real opportunity to scale my own private label brands on Amazon. And so, I did the typical story of a side hustle and built a few brands that quickly scaled to, as I would say, in just a few months. And that was amazing for me to see the type of growth that you can get on Amazon. And I got very passionate about the space. I went all in, and that was my focused gig for about a year. And through that process and my background in digital advertising, I saw the opportunity to launch a software set. At the time, I felt that with my knowledge on Amazon, I could do a lot better in terms of visualizing what needs to be solved for on Amazon, and launched ZonGuru in 2017, and we've grown it over the years. So now we have about 17 or 18 different tools, and we're an operational tool set for both sellers on Amazon and also brands and obviously agencies.
Yeah, amazing. So we started more or less same time on Amazon, and it was Wild West time. It was very easy back then. And yeah, so I know you guys doing a lot of development of bringing AI to the tools, like all these modern things to optimize the listings. And like, who is interested, I really suggest to check the tool. I think you one of the first that brought the like ChatGPT to the like Amazon space, if I'm right. But I would like to have your opinion on the like general trends, what's going on in the Amazon space, how the things are changing. Is it getting like what is your observation? Like you've been in all the heads, right? From your own brand to the tools, and you talk to a lot of agencies and brands. So what do you see the trends and the change in the space?
Yeah, there's a lot changing, I think, and at a high level, I would say one of the trends that I'm seeing this side of the year is, typically on Amazon, if you were early to market, and sold the products early on Amazon, you almost were entrenched, into Amazon's flywheel, and you indexed for a lot of keywords, and you got a lot of traffic from Amazon's algorithm, and however they found ways to send traffic to you. But I think the market's evolved, and Amazon's always trying to stay at the forefront of choice and cutting edge and best in class in terms of their products and offering that to customers. So, I think with a lot of brands now, they're seeing, listings that they haven't touched, or they kept just giving it stock, but they haven't really updated their listings in a long time. They're not necessarily getting, as much of a, juice from the algorithm as they used to get. And so a lot of bigger brands are actually having to go in and start to optimize listings and really improve them, right? Instead of just resting on their laurels with their old listings and their old way of doing things. So, a lot more focus around, even if you were leading, how do you stay in the front, and understanding who your competitors are, pricing yourself to be competitive, staying in stock, optimizing your listing, refreshing images, all of that stuff is continually having to happen now, to really stay at the front and be the best you can be for customers. So, a lot more work into the continual optimization, of your storefront. So, that's certainly, a really important piece. And then obviously the introduction, there's many things that are changing, but the introduction of AI has made a massive shift in the marketplace. We were first to market. We launched our beta, ChatGPT integration in January of this year. It's an insanely big value add to sellers and brands and agencies, right? Instead of on our front, instead of a well-optimized listing happening, in about 2 hours that you would typically take you now can do that baseline listing and have about a 30% better optimized listing than the best listings on page one in under 1 minute, right? And so that has been a huge shift in terms of the baseline of the listing and how you can optimize your listings, and not just focus. A lot of brands with thousands of listings are not just optimizing their best listings, but the ones that have need optimization that they haven't been able to get to for a long time, they're doing it. So all boats are rising. The standard of listings is massively improving across Amazon, which at the end of the day is a good thing for customers, right? And ensuring that they can understand the ins and outs of a product when they're buying it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think today with the technology, we can do things much more frequently, because I remember before, to update the listing, to check all the keywords, like most of our clients do it every few quarters, right? And some of them every few months. But ideally, you should do it like almost instantly, right? It's especially we employ it with cases with like occasion based. So like Halloween is coming, then Q4 is coming, so Mother's Day. So again, it's a lot of work for brands, and it's sometimes like neglected. And do you guys do something with the image kind of AI updates, or just the listing stuff?
Yeah, we just do the listing from an SEO perspective in terms of how to best match for Amazon's algorithm. So on the SEO side for content, it's not only about finding the right keywords, but it's how do you
tell the story,
ensure that not before that, even ensure that you're adding the keywords into your listing in the right way that matches the algorithm. And that's a balance between the most relevant high volume search terms that you want to have in your listing, but also the ability to find mid volume less competitive keywords that you can own and improve your organic rank through conversion, and understanding what those are and adding that to your listing. And then once you have those keywords, understanding that the best way to write a listing is not to overstuff it with exact match keywords, but write a professional listing that broad matches for as many terms as you can, as high up in your listing as possible, starting with your title, right? And so in theory that sounds really straightforward to do, but it's actually quite hard to write a listing that broad matches for in a variety of different ways, and that's what AI is really good at if you've taught it in the right way. And that's what we specialize in. Like, we understand how to get AI to write a listing where it can broad match for as many terms as possible, even just in the title. So there's quite a lot of finessing that needs to go into the actual SEO content. And then in addition to that, the AI image side of it, we're not putting that in at this time. And I think our feeling still is that, AI is really good for, getting more ideas in terms of what kind of images you want to create. We still feel that it's best to get ideas from that, but then to use your high quality, you know, photographers to create your images for you, and that's getting the best results. But certainly, as an idea generator, angles, you know, different ways of bundling your products, you know, etc. AI is very good at doing that. So, you know, right now we're focusing on the SEO content piece, but certainly, you know, we're still moving forward with AI, and I think at some point, when we feel it's ready, we'll pull in the image side as well. So, yeah, I think first and foremost, you know, making sure that you can write content in the right way that works for the algorithm is your number one priority, to ensure you have the best potential for indexing and connecting for the most keywords and helping your organic rank. And then obviously your imagery is going to help you with conversion.
Yeah, Amazon is still search engine, and we need to like please the algorithm to get the traffic we want, right? This is the name of the game. And I also totally agree with you that today AI is absolutely crushing the text, but all the image and video, there is some like toy level, so you can play with it, but I'm a strong believer that it's coming pretty soon with all the news. Like I follow all the news and I'm excited every day. So it's like, wow, yeah. So I hope we see it in our e-commerce space as well. Yeah, and talking about all the optimization, the Q4 is coming, right? We're already doing a lot of preparation with most of our clients to, you know, get the organic rankings before, etc. And the biggest problem for me as an agency with the sellers and the brands is expectations of the Q4 and unpredictability of the reality, right? So Q4 is everyone is waiting for, but it's never, you cannot be 100% sure, and it's a lot of price wars, a lot of competition, like, yeah. And do you have some strategies, ideas that you guys suggest using with your tools or whatever, just how to make the Q4 more successful?
Yeah, look, I think right now there's a lot of I would say unease around Q4, because we're still coming out of the back of, you know, COVID and what that did to the industry. You know, year over year, it's hard to predict what your numbers are going to be, because it's just been all over the place in the last 2 years, right? So I think this is going to be, yeah, a more steady Q4, you know, in terms of where e-commerce is at, and I think there's going to be good results, but you know, there's still unease from a lot of sellers who are, you know, just getting on their feet again, getting their distribution channels right, their inventory right, etc. So you know, at least to a little bit of degree, we're getting beyond the point of view of people trying to beat last year's numbers or the year before, right? Which has always been difficult with the pandemic and just the influx that we got. So I think we're starting to steady the ship. In terms of strategies, I think, you know, from our perspective, it's exactly what you said earlier. Is like from a listing point of view, you need to you know, maximize your listing based on the type of keywords you should be putting in there. You should be predicting and inferring what you think your seasonal keywords may be that you want to have in your listings and in your images, and you know, getting a head start on that. But as you get into Q4, you know, what we see works really well is refreshing, you know, whatever keyword tool you're using. If you're using ZonGuru, great. If you're using something else, that's fine. But you know, what we try and focus on is trying to, or, you know, if you're using Product Opportunity Explorer or Brand Analytics, but trying to get at what the actual keywords are that customers are typing into the localized market over the season, right? And through, you know, those type of tools, as well as your search term reports from PPC, you're finding those nuggets and those keywords that you know, that are out there, that are new from going into the season, that you can get into your listing and index for, or into your PPC campaigns and focus on those. So there's this kind of initial update that you should be doing to your listing to give yourself the best potential. But then, kind of bi-monthly or monthly optimizations as you go through Q4 to ensure that you're ahead of the game as much as possible. And then, it's absolutely pay to play on PPC as it's been for a while. So truly understanding, and I think this is a big missed opportunity by a lot of sellers, is when you are updating listings, understanding that, PPC is such a critical part of that. And if you're finding keywords that your competitors haven't ranked for, or haven't found yet, that you can get better conversion rates, it's about pushing your ACOS and your budgets on some of those keywords to get better conversion, which will help your organic rank, right? So there's this continuous focus around, hey, what opportunities are we finding in keywords, and then how can I keep the conversion rate up on that with PPC? And if I need to get if I have high converting keywords, pushing a lot more budget there, even if your ACOS is high, it's going to help your organic rank. So those are the kind of strategies that will maximize your sales, and of course you want to balance that with profit. So pricing is such a critical part, and that's the other third kind of leg of the stool that you really have to work with, which is adjusting your pricing to ensure that your conversion rates and your sales and your profit are right. So there are pricing automation softwares and intelligence around that, and that's a big part of AI today. But you really need someone as an expert like you as an agency to balance that between, hey, we know what's happening in the listing, we know what keywords we want to go after, we're pushing those on PPC, we understand what competitors are, we're tracking them from a pricing perspective, and we're adjusting and flowing our pricing to beat our competitors, stay profitable, and keep the conversion rate up, right? So it's a balancing act for sure. And then obviously the fourth leg, if there was one on a stool, would be making sure you stay in stock. So plenty to keep an eye on, going into Q4 for sure to maximize sales and profits.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, you have to be really with the hand on the pulse, 24/7, all the Q4 to be precise. Yeah, actually, it's a fun story. We have one product that is Mother's Day focused, like very big clients. So we crushed Mother's Days last year and this year. And this year specifically, we had one of the top keywords in the middle of the season change from the top performer to the much, I don't know, it's Amazon auto competition thing change. And luckily, we check it a few times a day, right? So we spot it on and change the PPC accordingly. But yeah, it's getting like real-time game. Interesting.
Big time, because it is, to be extremely successful, you have to drive a lot of that traffic and optimization with PPC, and if you don't have your finger on the pulse, and things go awry, you can spend a lot of money in the wrong areas and miss out on opportunity, but also overspend. So it's much more of an art and a science now, and with a lot of impact, right? So it's going to be interesting, and I would say, on top of that, like being clear on competitors, having software that can track competitors, understand what are they doing, and trying to be proactive around that is critical. It's it's going to be a good Q4.
Okay, and let's hope for the amazing numbers for this Q4. And just a general question I'm always trying to ask and see, because I believe the e-commerce evolved very fast, especially with all these trends and AI, but not only AI. We have all these platforms like TikTok. We have all this, TikTok, they run the TikTok shop nowadays, and we see some amazing results with it. Where do you see the e-commerce space in 3-5 years? Maybe 3 is enough, right? 5 is too far.
Yeah, sometimes I try not to think about it, right? I think look, I think this blend between marketing by influencers, you know, and live shopping and you know, having your brand at the grassroots level of you know, thousands of influencers, I think is a really interesting area to explore. And certainly TikTok, I think, is starting to figure that out, right? In terms of how you can, you know, get, you know, influencers to sell products, but do it in a genuine way, but also ways that they can, you know, make affiliate fees and can drive that industry. And, you know, if they can really get that to work well, you know, and track it in the right way, where at the end of the day, you know, the more that is sold, both parties benefit, you know, based on actual success of sales, not just on, you know, brand awareness, I think is good, right? And is the way that the industry is going. So I think it's going to change drastically, and I think it's going to change fast. And I don't think it's as easy to predict, right? So, but at the same time, you know, the channel is growing, and it's going to keep growing you know, growing more and more and more. So there's always going to be opportunity, and like a good entrepreneur, whether you're a brand or you're selling products or you're obviously in software, with change comes opportunity. And I think even those small opportunities are absolutely huge in terms of volume and sales, etc. So, you know, I even see it in the software space today. I just came back from a VC conference, and we heard from a lot of the new software ideas that are getting seeded and starting to grow. And my takeaway from all of that is that, you know, every idea is a extreme niche with a small problem that it's solving. But because you have such access to mass markets, whether it's the US or globally, it's a massive business, right? So I think it's about, as brands, I think it's about getting niche, solving, really understanding your target audience at a deep level, right? And adjusting your product for that. And, you know, those small, you know, very focused products will have a huge audience with massive upside. So, you know, things are getting more and more niche by the day, and I think it will continue in that direction. So yeah, I think that's a lot of it. I think AI is you know, whether it's marketing, whether it's storefronts, there's a, you know, it's a massive, it's going to continue to drive in that way. But it's also pushing, you know, it pushes us to be more genuine, to be at a higher creative level, to you know, to be more authoritative, you know, to again, you know, really truly understand the customer, whether it's blog content or whether it's, you know, storefront content or products. The more you can really push the boundaries to connect in a genuine way with those customers, the better opportunity you're going to have to get in front of them and stand out from everything else, right? Because everything is getting, you know, similar with AI. So you know, that's a big takeaway, is with technology, it pushes us as humans and creators to be more creative and more experts. And so, you know, that's going to start to come through in our product and our marketing to be able to stand out. I lost the sound there for a second. I think you're
sorry, I was muted myself. Yeah. Totally agree with you. Definitely on the same page that tools, they provide us ability to be more creative, but it's whatever, like we sell, like whatever product we sell, it's all about our product and the end users. So as we mentioned, like the connection, and if we use all the tools, all the platforms, doesn't matter, it's Amazon, something else, you know, it probably will change, but it's all about providing the greatest value to the end customer, loyalty, and so on and so on. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, well, I like the time we are living. It's very fun. And so what is the best way to reach out to you and find, and so if people want to continue this conversation?
Yeah, I think you know, number one, I think we can provide you with the link with the discount. So if anybody wants to sign up and try ZonGuru, you can try it. It's got a free trial in there. So at least get in and, you know, if you're getting into Q4, test your listings and make sure that you maximize versus your competitors. That's number one, right? So you can get in there and certainly do that in just a few minutes within ZonGuru. You know, we are a tool for brands, but also for agencies. So, you know, if agencies want to connect with us, you know, we'd love that. And you know, we truly can help you scale. We have some features that are available at the agency level that are much more created for scale when you're managing you know, hundreds and thousands of listings across you know, hundreds of brands. So you know, if you want to reach us, zonguru.com is great, as well as my LinkedIn profile. I think it's LinkedIn, and
yeah, we put it below.
Yeah, there you go. John Tilley, JON TILEY, and you can get in touch with me there. And yeah, certainly, you know, any questions you have, we have a chat, and we have a lot of sellers on our team. So we're all there, no matter what level you're at. We would love to help and help you navigate this interesting e-commerce world that we're in.
Okay, yeah, thank you, John. It was amazing conversation. It was very valuable for me, I believe for our audience as well. So thank you, and see you next time.
Yeah, good to see you, Oleg. Thank you.